We've got a strong field, including the newly resurgent American Vert field, led by the skating of Mark Engelhart, who has steadily been climbing the rankings, now finds himself in top contention, and he is flanked by some young up-and-comers, Randy Marino, and of course, the monster on street, Jaron Grove, up here on the vert ramp as well.
And then there's the Australian contingent, led by Cesar Mora, first ever to do the 1080, and the skater he mentored, Shane Yost, become one of the most dominant. But everybody's going to be chasing these guys, the Satoko brothers.
The Satoko brothers are obviously the ranked number 1 and 2 in the world, so they are the best in the world. I mean, you hardly need any more reason than that to want to follow these guys around, see what they're doing.
Eito and Takeshi are the most talented vert skaters in the world.
These guys really exemplify the spirit of innovation in vert skating.
They're the most humble vert skaters in the world.
You know, they're each learning their own tricks. And so between the both of them, you're getting a lot of tricks added to the vert skating vocabulary. And since they have each other to push themselves and to push each other, they really are sort of out there on their own pushing vert skating.
When another skater who maybe can't do even half his big tricks in a final, you'll see Eito smacking on the signage behind him, totally stoked, because he knows that skater's reached sort of a plateau. They are true ambassadors. They're carrying the torch.
Takeshi! Anna! How old are you? She's my sister. Bye bye. 手振って。My mother, Tomoko. My father, Yukio. And Eito.
And their little sister's already skating. The Japanese keep getting younger and younger out here on the ramp.
Okay, next for Rui Kitamura, he is my student, so I teach him.
And he has the dubious duty of dropping in first out here in round number 1.
And he has 540 and 900. Yeah!
Rui brings a lot of tricks to the vert ramp. He's got the flat spin. He's got tons of spins, but he doesn't get the height because he's so small.
I'm very happy. Yeah.
You know, they're cloning them in Japan now.
It's ironic watching Rui Kitamura because the kid's only 12 years old. I remember skating with Takeshi when he was 10 on the Pro Tour, and Takeshi was this kid who goes really high for his small size. That kid is definitely going to be the future. He's going to sort of continue to carry that Japanese torch.
The first skater to take it. Here he comes. Zamora.
Total anticipation of all the guys on the ramp. Cesar so dominant in the sport, and then he gets injured. No one sees him skate for so long, and he's back with the music cranking.
To see him come back, and now to see him getting back to that top level where he was before the injury, where he's got these great sequences, and you know his 720s are still some of the best in the business. When he does a Liu Kang 720 and he's able to hold it out, and when he carves alley-oop on the 720s and the 540s, you know, no one does them like that. So it's really gratifying and exciting to see Cesar able to sustain that for a full 50 seconds, but also to see that he's adding new stuff. Now he's throwing the big invert on the roll-in. So it's like he's taking advantage of throwing these sort of eye-catching marquee tricks to really make the judges take notice.
So at the end of the run, he gets an 87, which is an amazing score, and we all know that he still didn't even throw his 1080. He sets the bar, but the Satokos hope to raise it when we come back. The
The ASA Pro Tour on ESPN is brought to you by the Taz Attitour presented by Warner Brothers, bringing the attitude of Taz and all the Looney Tunes to the world of action sports. Don't forget to visit TazTour.com for all the latest tour information. By Yoo-Hoo Chocolate Drink. Side effects may include happiness and refreshment. And by Hyundai. Seeing is believing. From Milwaukee, Wisconsin, it's the big gig with thousands of live acts, millions of people, and the ASA Pro Tour.
Milwaukee's just like any other event. Let me break down the Vert competition for you. There's 2 runs. They're 50 seconds each, based on a 100-point scale. The best run wins.
Shane Yost was chasing an 87, which was posted by his mentor, Cesar Mora.
Hey, Shane Yost comes out in his first run of the final. He's qualified from the prelims in first place. He's feeling it. He's really enjoying himself. He loves the Milwaukee event every year.
Shane's always been known for his spins, but he's serious about his skating and he's a true competitor. And so he's gone out and he's worked on adding big airs to his runs.
He does this huge Liu Kang 540 over the channel. The judges are going crazy. He's doing all of his typical moves. The 540 flat spin, the 900 flat spin, the 1080.
So halfway through the run, things are going great. We've seen the big airs and all the spins, but that's what you expect from Shane Yost. Where he's really got to prove himself is on the lip.
He does one grind, but he signals to the judges before his run that he's actually going to do 3 of them. By the time he gets to that point, though, then he falls. And there were only 15 seconds left. But up until that point, he had the first place run going. And it was an amazing run, but it was like, come on, just finish.
Once the score came in, it was a high score considering the fall, so a testament to how difficult those tricks are.
But leaving the door open for Eito and Takeshi to take the #1 spot. The 2 brothers have been on the road for so long. They're 2 of the youngest skaters on the Pro Tour, but they're also 2 of the longest time veterans, Eito and Takeshi. Takeshi starting as a pro at only age 9. Their home base, Good Skate Skate Park, but they haven't been able to spend a whole lot of time there in the past few months, touring with the Pro Tour.
They're both coming out of their shell now. Their personality's coming out. They're more confident. They're awesome. They're a lot of fun.
Hello, with Takeshi.
Yeah, in Hawaii.
You like it in Hawaii?
Yeah, I like it in Hawaii.
Lots of pretty girls.
Pretty girls? I don't.
I respect Takeshi, and he has a natural talent. And I think I don't have a natural talent. I have to do more practice, but Takeshi don't need practice. I feel pressure always because my brother always good skating, and I'm an older brother, so I have to do good skating than Takeshi.
Respect to my brother, just a little bit. They're skating for the tricks and for the skating in itself.
And I skated Vans with them like last week. They're so amazing.
I think Takeshi's crazy. Him and his brother both go so high, so much higher than anybody else, and Takeshi's really getting good at grinds now. It's starting to scare me a little bit.
Takeshi starts out his run with huge airs, and already that separates him from everyone else in the pro class. I mean, these guys are the best in the world. Some of them do go very high, but no one goes higher than Takeshi. It's becoming pretty clear at a pro contest when Takeshi drops in, he's going to be the one going the highest. You get excited about it, and then he really does deliver. So he starts out, his first couple of airs look like they're about 11, 12 foot range, getting double grabs out of, he's doing a rocket to method. And then he's got the huge Viking flip where he's like comes out one of his highest airs, and then just with the Viking flip upside down over the channel.
Since the beginning of the sport, this is about the first time we've seen so many street skaters sitting at the bottom of the ramp to watch a Vert contest, and they're all there to see Takeshi and Eito go so big.
Takeshi did actually take a risk in the first round. he had a brand new grind combination where he went fakey 270 into the fish brain to backside royale. And this is not something that the judges have seen from Takeshi. And they get really excited when they see new tricks, but especially when they see vert skaters who make their living on the 1080s and the big air tricks, when they see them taking chances on grinds. And he really was rewarded for it.
Of the top 5 skaters on the vert ramp, Takeshi's the only one willing to take those chances on the coping, do real street tricks. And he's the first skater to get above a 90.
A 92.5 is a very, very good score, especially coming out of the first round.
And a score that's pretty standard, one that he's used to having to try to top.
Eito had a very good first run, but Eito's got to a point in his career where he knows what his bag of tricks is, and he's pretty confident in them, and he knows he can put together a very good run without trying anything that's too risky for him, and he'll get a pretty good score. And that's pretty much what you can expect from Eito in the first round. He really does wait for the second round to take chances. So in the first round, Eito came out. His tricks, which are phenomenal. It seems almost ridiculous and unfair that he can have a 1080 and a brand new Liu Kang 720 flat spin, all these tricks in his first run, and everyone knows it's a safety run. I mean, I guess it's just a testament to how great he is as a skater.
When Eito skated, everybody expected him to do the typical Eito run, you know, throw all the big tricks, end out on first. In his first run, he had a solid run, but he missed his alley-oop soul grind. He didn't completely fall on it, but he kind of just rolled it across the coping. So he left a little bit of room for improvement for him by not doing the double backflip and by missing a trick.
The judges now know, and educated spectators now know that he's got that double backflip, and they know if he doesn't throw it that he is saving it, and that he did lay everything on the line in that run.
So when Eito finishes his run, he's got an 87. He's tied with Cesar. Clearly, he's left room for improvement, and everybody expects in his second run he will. But at the end of round number 1, it was interesting because you had Takeshi in first. No big surprise. You could beat Takeshi or Eito. The big surprise is that tied for second, you've got Cesar Mora. You wouldn't expect him there. Not to say he's not an incredible skater. It's just, wow, Cesar Mora's back. He's in second place right now. And the skater that he sort of mentored, Shane Yost, sits in fourth behind him. It'll definitely be an interesting second round.
What better way than to spend your birthday hucking yourself out of an airplane?
You're watching the ASA on ESPN at Summerfest.
Good job, buddy.
Jumping out of the door?
Yeah.
That was the best part?
Yeah.
He's a skydiver!
Happy
Nice
birthday,
job,
man.
Happy
Thank
birthday.
you.
Very good
Once
job.
again, man.
Congratulations. Nice work, buddy. Awesome skydive.
Yeah, 最高 Summerfest always goes off.
In the second round, there was a lot of pressure on many of the guys, and of course, Cesar Mora was already sitting tied for second.
Yeah, very good friend.
for a second run. He comes out, he tries to put together the same kind of run, but step it up from the 720 and throw the 1080. He went down on the 1080, but the notable thing is he got right back up and finished his run through a few more tricks, including a 720. Randy Marino did some creative things into the waterfall. It paid off for him, ended out in 6th place midway through the second round. Anthony Avila threw some big tricks, but he didn't get too much amplitude.
Mark Engelhardt was, in my opinion, the anti-player. But now, apparently, he's a bit of a player.
Yeah. All right, I'll call your phone, okay? Yes. Oh, Mark, I want to see you. Bye, baby. Bye. I can't believe that.
He acts like really shy around the ramp, around all us guys. But then when he goes out, he's a bit of an animal. So I don't know, I might have to go out tonight and check it out, see what's going on.
Well, maybe Mark needs to focus a little more on his second run. He had a tough time in the second run, didn't post a very high score. But he got the Americans excited, so it made way for Jaron Grove to come in and try his second run. Now, Jaron's usually good for a few good tricks on the vert ramp, bring some of his street moves, like a wall ride to soul grind, very innovative. Knocked Randy Marino right off his feet.
Speaking of knocking yourself off your feet, Shane Yost fell in the first run with about 15 seconds left. And then in the second round, he came out and he was putting together another brilliant run. He pulled out and just threw himself into the flat bottom. Some great skating up to that point for Shane Yost, but a frustrating day overall. And to see all the best skating, check out asaskate.com, your source for falls and the sickest tricks.
We'll be back.
The ASA Pro Tour on ESPN has been brought to you by Corn Nuts, corn gone wrong, by Acclaim's Aggressive Inline, now available on the PlayStation 2 computer entertainment system rated T for Teen, and by Paul Mitchell, the style and lifestyle sports.
I think it's gonna get cool. Lots of drunken yobboism. That's what I was talking about. The skimpy clothing, it's amazing.
Summerfest, always a great time, some of the best music in the world. These guys got to catch some music, but now it's all down to business. Takeshi Yasutoko sits in first place with a 90.25, hoping to improve on that in the second round.
Well, Takeshi's come into a lot of contests, seeded first in the second round. Uh-oh.
Wow. It's like he just looped out. Well, going back up to the top of the roll-in.
Well, very uncharacteristic. Typically, you don't see these guys miss a trick, but you certainly don't see them fall down completely in the flat bottom.
Well, maybe that's one of the trade-offs of getting such huge air.
Well, it is, absolutely, and that really illustrates the point that those high airs are every bit as difficult as some of the most difficult spins out there. Some people might say, well, all he did was went out and threw some big airs, which is never all he does. But those high airs, the higher you go with them, once you start to get to that 11, 12 foot range, Those are very difficult tricks.
And the door is wide open now for Ato. Ato only has to beat a 92.50. That's a pretty high score, but he's got the ability.
Well, he does. This has happened a lot of times where Ato sees himself behind his younger brother. But what happens is he throws the 1080 California roll. What happens is Ato has some huge tricks, like the double backflip 180. And what he'll do is he'll save them till the last round of the finals. And that's what ends up being the double backflip 180. Just as we're talking about, that ends up being the moves that puts him over the top. But you see here, it didn't work out for him, which is going to make things very interesting because now he's not going to be able to post a higher score than his brother's first run.
Well, surprising, Ato didn't just start pumping his way back up onto the ramp, use up all this valuable time by doing tricks. Instead, he's just walking up the ladder, taking his time, and watching his run disappear.
This is interesting because after the first round, he was in a tie with Cesar Mora.
Well, Takeshi's trying to tell him, keep going, come on. Throwing the huge double again with the 180. Today will not be his day as far as that trick goes.
Well, he's throwing that for the crowd at this point, but let's elaborate on this point about the tie, because what happens is you watch a double backflip 180. What happens is in the event of a tie, the tiebreaker is the second run score.
Yeah, there it is. Ato Yasutoko, third place. Cesar Mora, amazing. In second place, he is officially back. And Takeshi Yasutoko, no surprise, is the 2002 X Games gold medalist, is a gold medalist once again. And following that Vert contest was the Corn Nut Sick Trick contest. Shane Yost, who never thinks he's got it all, put it together here and takes home the Corn Nut Sick Trick with a 900 flat spin. Special thanks to the entire staff and management of Summerfest.
Good stuff for your hair.